The world of Elara was a world of cold stone and iron chains. She lived in the damp, sunless cellar of a fortress-like manor in the foggy cliffs of Kaelor. At 19, Elara was a shadow among the living, a girl with no surname, no birthday, and no memories of the parents who had left her on the steps of the manor as an infant. To the world, she was simply the mute, a servant girl who scrubbed the soot from the fireplaces until her knuckles bled and her lungs felt like they were filled with ash. The masters of the manor were the Vane family, a line of ruthless merchants who had bought their way into high society. Lord Alaric Vane was a man of cold steel and calculating greed, who viewed his servants as less than the cattle in his fields. His wife, Lady Elspeth, was a woman of sharp edges and sharper tongues. Her boredom was a dangerous thing, often relieved by finding flaws in Elara's work. A missed spot of wax on a mahogany table was an invitation for a week of bread and water. Their children, Julian and Sarah, were the heirs to this legacy of cruelty. Julian, 20, was a brute who enjoyed watching Elara struggle with heavy water buckets, often tripping her just to see the water spill. Sarah, 17, was a porcelain doll filled with venom. She would deliberately tear her expensive silk dresses and blame Elara's rough handling just to watch the girl be whipped by the housekeeper. Yet despite the daily storm of abuse, Elara possessed a quiet, unshakable grace. She never begged for mercy. She never looked at the floor in shame. Even when covered in grime, she moved with the poise of a dancer, her back straight and her gaze steady. It was this arrogance, as Lady Elspeth called it, that made them hate her most. They wanted to break her, but Elara's spirit was like a diamond, harder than any hammer they possessed. Her only treasure was a heavy, tarnished iron ring she wore on a cord around her neck, hidden beneath her rags. It was an ugly thing, seemingly worthless, with a strange, jagged engraving of a bird with its wings spread wide. She didn't know what it meant, but in her darkest moments, she would grip it tight, feeling a strange warmth radiate from the cold metal. The ritual of humiliation. The Vanes lived a life of excess. Every night, they hosted grand dinners where wine flowed like water and meat was served in silver platters. Elara was the ghost behind the chairs, pouring wine and clearing plates, her stomach growling with a hunger that never went away. One night, after a celebration of Lord Alaric's newest shipping contract, the table was littered with half-eaten venison and rich cakes. Elara was clearing the table when she saw a small piece of untouched bread. She reached for it, but Lady Elspeth's fan snapped shut on her wrist. "Do you think our waste is your wealth?" Elspeth hissed. She took the bread, dipped it into the dregs of bitter wine and ash from a nearby candle, and dropped it onto the floor. "The pigs in the barn eat better than you, for they are at least useful. If you want to eat like the vermin you are." Elara stared at the ruined bread on the floor. Then she looked Lady Elspeth directly in the eyes. Without a word, she picked up the bread, walked to the window, and tossed it out to the birds. She turned back and bowed, not out of respect, but with a chilling, regal mockery that left Elspeth trembling with rage. The king's eternal grief. While Elara suffered in the fog of Kaelor, thousands of miles away in the kingdom of Solace, a golden land of eternal summer, King Valerius III sat on a throne of glass and light. But the sun brought him no warmth. 20 years ago, a great fire had consumed the summer palace during a rebellion led by his jealous younger brother. In the smoke and blood, the queen had been lost, and with her, their infant daughter, Princess Lyra. A loyal knight was said to have escaped with the child, but they disappeared into the northern mists and were never heard from again. King Valerius had spent 2 decades searching. He had exhausted his treasury, sending out seers and hunters. He was now old, his golden hair turned to white, and his heart was failing. The kingdom of Solus was leaderless for the future. His only hope was a legendary artifact, the Phoenix Seal. It was an iron ring that, when reunited with its twin, the Phoenix Scepter, would ignite with a flame that could never be extinguished, proving the bloodline of the true heir. His most trusted commander, a veteran named Kaelor, had spent his life following a trail of breadcrumbs. His search had led him to the northern coastal towns, far from the warmth of Solus. He arrived in Kaelor disguised as a wandering blacksmith, looking for work. The discovery Kaelor was passing the Vane Manor when he saw a young woman being pushed out of the back gates. It was Elara. She had been sent to the well in the freezing rain as punishment. As she struggled with the heavy iron crank of the well, her rag-like